tremendous for
Welcome to Be Happy, Feel Great, where we bring in experts to help you with your own personal development. Many people across the nation are overweight. It's a serious problem today. And I am very proud that I have a special guest today, Dr. Russ who is going to tell you a little bit about some of his secrets and a program that he has called Lose Weight for Good. So, Russ.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for joining me. Okay, it's a pleasure.
Thanks.
You and I met a few years ago.
Yeah.
I remember reading about you.
I remember reading about me too in your book.
Some of your stories were just so fascinating that I included Dr. Russ in my in Nothing Good Comes from a But, my first book, and I think from there we became good friends, and I'm just thrilled that you're on the show here today.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Lose Weight for Good is just, what a great program that you have, and I think we have to just set the stage a little bit for people.
Okay.
We have a picture of you from
oh, you went digging around, huh?
10 years ago, 12 years ago, and it's a picture of you holding you.
Yeah, well, it's me holding the old me.
The old you,
holding
right.
The old me. I was over 410 pounds. And the most common question that was ever asked when people find out that you lose over 200 pounds is, how did you lose the weight, right? Because people want to know exactly what you did so they can do exactly what you did. Of course, that never works. That never works because I'm me and you're you.
Everybody is different. Their lifestyles are
Absolutely.
different. How they perceive food and all the other things that you're going to be telling us
the whole
about
thing.
today, the whole program.
What do you think is the most difficult question that anyone's ever asked me?
How do I keep it off?
Second most difficult question.
Okay.
Most difficult question anyone's ever asked me is, so how did you let yourself get to be 410 pounds? And that took a lot of self-reflection. How did that happen? How did that happen? The best answer I can tell you is that when I was 410 pounds, I was a completely different person.
You look totally different just in the picture. I wouldn't have recognized you from that picture when I saw it.
My whole life is completely different. So that answer, that idea that you can evolve who you are as a person, coupled with the idea of, I don't want to lose weight. I want to lose weight for good. You see, most of the people I work with already know how to lose weight. They've done it before.
Oh, sure.
Only to gain it back.
Yeah. Well, you gained back. I heard you lost 500 pounds.
Well, I lost, over my lifetime, I've lost over 500 pounds. Now, 300 of those pounds I managed to gain back. So when I was 410 pounds, I was probably the most knowledgeable weight loss expert I knew.
So you were on every imaginable diet.
I knew everything there was to know.
You gained, you lost, that roller coaster just took place.
Yeah, I'm sure you know other people like this that have lost weight only to gain it back.
Most people I know are like that.
And weight loss, setting your sights on weight loss is literally like setting your GPS in your car to the ditch next to your destination. You see, the truth is you don't really want weight loss. You want to lose weight for good. The whole point is that you want to keep it off. So that's how the Lose Weight for Good program got started. We arranged ourselves entirely around the concept of how can we help people to lose weight and keep it off, to lose weight for good. Now this took a radically different approach. Why? Because, well, everybody knows that diets don't work. At least they don't work for people who want to lose weight for good. They do work for people who want to lose weight, but almost all of them gain the weight back.
Yeah.
So we needed to take another perspective. So here's the thing. We approach every person who joins our program as if they know enough to do whatever it takes to get started to lose weight. We understand that they have the knowledge, but the knowledge isn't enough.
Well, I think it's the knowledge most people have is eat less, exercise more.
And that's enough to get started.
And that's enough to get started.
And-
That's the knowledge, but you go
they don't do it.
deeper. You have all the secrets, all the techniques, all the things that...
And it's really not that mysterious. You
Yeah.
see, knowledge is kind of like fuel in a car with flat tires. Okay? The fuel is in the car, but the car has a lot of moving parts, all of which need to be able to function in order for the car to go. So piling more knowledge, reading more magazines, getting more recipes, doing all that stuff is pretty useless if you're not going to do it, or if you're not equipped to do it.
So this is where your retrain your brain comes in?
Exactly.
Is that
Exactly.
phrase you have?
We're going to make the car work so that all that knowledge you have, all that fuel you have, is going to be able to work for you. And of course, at some point down the road, we're going to give you new knowledge in exactly the same way that you'd fill your gas tank up again. But right now, you have enough to get started, but you can't get started. So we have broken it down into 3 critical areas: the way your mind operates, the way your environment operates, and the way your social influences operate on you. Those 3 areas, we lock those 3 areas in such a way that you can leverage the knowledge you have and the extra knowledge that we give you, so that you can not only start to lose weight, but keep it off for the rest of your life.
And how long have you kept your weight off?
Now, it's been almost 12 years now.
12 years?
Yeah, and on my 10-year anniversary, you know what I did?
Big piece of chocolate cake?
No! What are you, crazy? I got in my kayak in Montauk, and in 8.5 days, I returned to Montauk after circumnavigating Long Island, 270 miles. Just kept going. Just kept going.
Unbelievable. I remember that so well.
And you know what, I'll tell you
It
one
was-
thing. I got a lot more memories of that trip than most people have of any chocolate cake they've ever eaten.
Absolutely. Well, you know, just the amount of kayaking that you do, and I remember you were telling me one time your daily trip was Peconic Bay, going around Robbins Island.
Yeah, you know,
things like that.
Yeah, that was a morning thing. Every morning I would go around Robbins Island.
But the guy that was 320 pounds, you know,
410.
410, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Could he even fit in a kayak?
Well, that was the funny thing, no. Well, I could fit in, but I couldn't get out. The story of the kayaking went like something like this. You know, I had tried getting in and out of a kayak when I was heavy, and I really couldn't get out. And it was an embarrassing, horrible experience.
Yeah.
As I was losing the weight, I had already lost 100 pounds, but I hadn't quite gotten down to where I wanted to. My son said, I'd love to get a kayak for my birthday, Dad. And I said, no, you can't, because you're not going out in the bay alone, and I'm not getting in one of those things. It was at that moment I realized that I was letting my thought processes, my health, my size, influence my kids in a negative way.
Yes.
And when I saw the disappointment on my son's face when he realized that he had a father that wasn't going to be able to go with him and be in that kayak and do cool things, that's when everything had to change. I got him the kayak, I got one for myself,
Wow.
and I just never stopped paddling. And as a result, him and I went on really long trips together and kayak camped, and we ended up rock climbing and doing all these wonderful things that I got to turn into the cool dad. But I had to make that choice. I had to realize that my life wasn't just killing me, it was killing
It was
him and the rest of my
affecting
family.
the rest of your family and everything too. And now you're sharing that with other people. You have a few different programs, I know. You have.
Well, we have Lose Weight for Good, and we have I Love You to Health.
I Love You to Health, where
Yeah.
you're able to do things with your spouse. And,
That's right.
You know, or partner or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
And you're just, your stuff is just wonderful.
Well,
On
thank
your,
you.
Your
Well-
website, Lose Weight for Good.
LoseWeightForGood.org.
.org.
Yeah,
okay.
because people go to the .com and it leads them to some kind of buy a supplement. It's LoseWeightForGood.org.
.org, which we'll have posted on the.
So on LoseWeightForGood.org, we do a couple of really cool things. Yes, we give you more knowledge because it's always helpful to refill that fuel tank. But more importantly, we help to get the car running by retraining your brain first, by helping the way your mind operates. And one time I read a quote by Gandhi, and I just love this quote. It goes something like this. Your thoughts determine your beliefs. Your beliefs determine your words. Your words determine your actions. Your actions determine your habits. Your habits determine your values. And here's the important part. Your values determine your destiny. Now think about that for a moment. Think about how your destiny is actually controlled by you.
Yeah,
Now, most people kind of can understand that your destiny is controlled by your actions, right?
sure.
So,
But they don't understand the steps that you just shared, the Gandhi steps and everything that go along with that.
yeah, I mean, what I loved about that quote is it showed that he was a real keen observer on how human beings operated. You see, most people can figure out that their actions control their destiny, and that's why they go on diets. Well, if I do this and I eat that and I eat only kale for 30 days and da 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 da. But here's the problem. They don't recognize that the process really starts with their thoughts and their beliefs and their words, meaning the words that come out of their mouth and the words that go on inside their head. Mm-hmm. They miss those 3 critical steps. And when they miss those steps, they short-circuit the entire change process, which is why that's where we start at Lose Weight for Good. We help you work on your beliefs around food and exercise. We help you work on your thoughts. We help you work on the words that you use both out of your mouth and inside your head. Now, it's an oversimplification, but our program is based on neurophysiological science that helps people literally reprogram their brain, develop new habits, develop new values, and therefore be able to change their destiny. How do I know it works? Because it's worked for me and countless other people who have fully engaged in our program. It's amazing to watch how people change.
I could see that, and again, you're the perfect role model. We saw the pictures of you from 12 years ago. You've maintained it, you understand it, and you work on this program with your partner, Karen.
Yeah.
And she's, I've listened to some of your audio pieces that are on there.
You got to get her on here.
Yeah,
She'd be a lot of fun.
It would be great. I would love to have Karen maybe someday come on, and we could do the I Love You to Health program.
You like how I invited myself back?
You know what? I invite people back when we have I hear it from our audience. You know, they'll say, "I really enjoyed Dr. Russ. Can you have him back on the show?" And I could just tell this is going to be one of those shows that people are going to like, and I'll be getting the emails, and they'll be contacting me, and it's so important. And it sounds like this retrain your brain and these things that people are missing on their regular traditional diets.
Yeah.
You know, you're picking up the pieces, and you could add the support for them.
We're picking it. We're fixing the car, and we're going to help them make it go. And there's other parts of the car. Can I tell you about those?
Absolutely. Well, you're going to fix that flat tire.
We're going to fix those. We're going to fix all the tires. How's that sound?
Good.
So we talk about getting your brain to operate properly, your thoughts to be in line with this new program. In fact, the mantra that we use is that the only way that you're going to be able to keep your smaller body is to get a bigger life. And then we put that all in a nice little package and make it so that it's attainable for you. The next thing I want to talk about is how your environment works for you. I have a friend of mine up at Cornell University. His name is Brian Wansink, and he does a lot of research about how people's food environment affects their body size. And did you know that he found that a woman who keeps a box of cereal on her kitchen counter, now it can even be healthy cereal, any cereal at all, is on average 21 pounds heavier than her neighbor in the same neighborhood who doesn't keep a box of cereal on her counter.
21?
Can you believe that?
Just from, what is it? Is it sending like a signal, I'm hungry all the time?
It
can't
does.
be from eating that cereal. It has.
Well, it does a lot of things. Number one, you're more likely to just grab cereal. Number two, even healthy cereals are packed with calories, and most of them with sugar. And by the fact that it's on the counter all the time, you're constantly looking to grab a box of cereal a bowl of cereal, because after all, it's not quite lunch, or after all, it's not quite dinner, so I'm just going to grab some cereal. And
Cereal's healthy, people think, and everything, yeah.
The underlying principle here is that if you keep really healthy foods convenient, now by contrast, people who have a bowl of fruit on their table tend to weigh less. Mm-hmm. By having really healthy whole foods on your table and making the less healthy foods or the more high calorie density foods less convenient, that little change in your environment can change your body weight. He did another study where he put candy dishes on administrative assistants' desks, put the candy dish there. And he found out that if it was a clear candy dish, it made a huge difference than if it were, let's say, an opaque candy dish where they couldn't see the candy. If the candy dish was moved just 6 feet away, they almost never touch the candy. So having it on their desk, seeing it, caused them to eat almost 75 calories more a day. That's 5 pounds a year from one little candy dish. Now imagine if the candy dish was filled with, let's say, paper clips. Now you'd have no opportunity to eat the candy.
I hope they're not eating those paper clips.
And that's true, that would be a problem. But the thing is, and this is the most important thing I teach, is that little tiny changes in your environment, the size of the plates in your cabinet will have a direct effect on your body weight. The size of the cups in your cabinet, direct effect on your body weight. What you have on the counter, what you don't have on the counter, direct effect on your body weight.
Well, we're into this supersize everything too, and
Absolutely.
that has been the trend over the years, and more terrible foods that people are eating with all the processed foods and
Yep.
the quick this, quick that. Everything is fast.
Especially going out. You know, the trend is that we don't cook at home anymore. So we're not even investing ourselves in our food. I'm going to tell you a quick story about a colleague of mine at NYU. Her name is Marion Nessel. And Marion is probably one of the greatest authorities on nutrition around. She was in this movie Food Incorporated. You might have seen it. So Dr. Nessel is well known for her nutritional savvy. So this reporter comes up to her and says, I want to take you out to dinner. Marion says, great. So they go out to dinner, this little place in Little Italy, and the reporter orders the risotto for Dr. Nessel. She eats it, she loves it, and then the reporter says, so how many calories did you think was in that? And do you know she totally blew it? This nutrition expert, at the top of her game, had no idea that the risotto she just ate had almost 1,300 calories in it.
Really?
Really.
Wow.
And the reporter repeated the experiment with another group of high-level nutrition experts, and none of them got it right. So if they don't have a chance, what chance do you have of guessing how many calories you just ate at the restaurant?
Yeah.
Now, why do you suppose that is? Why do you suppose it's so hard to guess the calories at a restaurant?
Well, you don't know what they're doing in the back.
You don't know what they're doing in the
You know,
back.
You don't even know what the quality of food is or anything else.
Listen, they're business people, and I don't fault them for that.
Yeah.
But they know that if they make the food full of fat, sugar, and salt, you're going to come
It's
back.
going to taste good. Well, I always heard somebody say, if you want to cook good, just throw an extra stick of butter in it.
And you know what?
It works.
It works. And it's cheap, and it's easy, and it gets you coming back.
Sure.
And I get it.
Sure. Yeah.
So that risotto was made by sautéing the rice in olive oil, cooking the rice, then throwing a stick of butter in, and then putting cheese in it. So of course it was almost 1,300 calories. But the problem is, if you do that 3, 4, 5, 6 nights a week, there's no way you're going to be able to lose weight. Not going to be possible. Now, I'm not saying that if you want to lose weight for good, you can never eat out again. But you do have to be more conscious about it. That's another piece of your environment. The environment, as I've broken it up, is your house, your restaurants, your workplace, and guess what? Your car. Because if you're eating in the car,
Oh, yeah.
you're probably eating too much. Did you know that since in the entire history of the automobile, nobody has starved to death while behind the wheel?
And they eat so fast, too.
Well, of course, because you're eating, you're texting, you're driving. Somewhere you find the time to actually
I get a
drive
kick
the
out
car.
of sometimes. I do a lot of driving, too, and I'll look and see, on the expressway, what is this person doing that? And you see them shoving a pizza in there and
was me.
reaching over and big here.
It was me.
whole
I used to, when I was 410
Yeah.
pounds, I was always eating in the car,
Yeah.
you know. And the third and final part of getting your car working so that you can use your weight loss knowledge to your advantage is your social influences. There's a study out of Yale University by a researcher by the name of Nicholas Christakis. And what he found is that if anyone in your immediate social circle starts to gain weight, you're 57% more likely to gain weight yourself. Don't you find that staggering?
57%. Well, I know it's that, who you surround yourself with in all areas of your life, how important that
What was that Jim Rohn quote?
Jim Rohn,
you
yeah.
are most like the five people with
five
whom
people
you
are-
most, right,
Yeah.
spend the most time.
Absolutely.
You are the 5 people with whom you spend the most time, I believe was the quote. I think he was right.
Yeah.
And now science is starting to prove that out. The closer you are to these people, the more they influence you. in romantic relationship science, there's a concept called inevitable influence. And what that means is that the person that you spend the most amount of time with, the person that you wake up with every morning, they have an inevitable influence on you. You are not the same person as you were when you were single. And that is probably the most important relationship in your life. And that's why we have a whole other company called
I love you to hell.
dedicated to making that relationship healthier. Right.
Yeah.
But it's such a huge part of the weight loss picture.
Yeah.
So you have your closest relationship, the romance piece. Then you have your close friends. Now, some of those friends might be trying to sabotage your weight loss, even subtly, by every time you come over bringing out the nachos. You're going to resist the nachos? I mean, I'm no Superman. How about you?
Oh, if it's there, it's so tempting.
If you see it, you eat it.
Yeah. If you don't buy it, if you don't bring it in.
So now what if you had friends who, instead of having nachos, ran 5Ks? And every time you got together with them, it was about going out on the road or getting on a bike or hiking through the woods.
Oh, sure.
You're going to end up a very different person than if all your friends were about football and nachos. Now, I'm not saying you need to ditch all your friends. But I am saying that if you want to lose weight for good, you have to look at your social relationships as if they were as important as the burger that you're putting in your mouth. Because it's going to make a difference. Your car's not going to go. Put all the fuel you want in it. Not going to go. And then even your Facebook friends have an influence on your weight. Did you know that?
No.
Well, you open up your Facebook, right? And there's nothing on there but cheesy fries and burgers and blah, 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 blah. And there's nothing on there but people complaining about other people and negative statements and I'll never do this and self-defeating behaviors and self-defeating statements. Again, those are the words that you're using in your head, you're seeing on Facebook every day.
Everything that you have, and it reinforces it.
The beautiful part about Facebook friends is they're easy to get rid of.
Sure.
Just unfriend them. If you have Facebook friends that are constantly posting things that are not supporting your views and beliefs and your new direction in life, get rid of them. Don't even tell them. Just, psst, you're not on my Facebook.
Good point for everybody out there.
And friend me, because I'm a great one for putting real positive, exciting, wonderful quotes.
You are, and I think that's, there's a reason that you have over 60,000 people.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I love you to hell. And,
always waiting for that next little bit of inspiration, and why
yeah,
not?
Yeah, and you know, you're saying all these things that are so important, and it's the support then, it's the reinforcement, it's being able to have somebody that could help you along the way to coach you and do all the different things.
And that's part of what loseweightforgood.org is about. Because
okay, that's what I was wondering.
When you become a member of loseweightforgood.org, you have access to a private Facebook page, and on that private Facebook page are a group of like-minded people that are all trying to accomplish the same thing. They're all trying to lose weight for good. And then Karen and I moderate that group, and we contribute to it, and we have weekly telephone calls with everyone on the group. And it's amazing to see how when new people come into the group, how the people who are already in the group just give one huge Facebook hug. And it's what amazes me is when somebody reaches out for help on that group, the members come up with as good an answer as I could ever think. It's amazing to me that as people go through our because our program is all automated at first, they have audios that they listen to.
Yeah.
You know why audios and not video? Because we don't want people looking at video screens. The whole point is go out and be active. So put your headphones in and listen to old Doc Russ.
Oh, okay. So you could be out there jogging or...
We started with video, and people were jogging with the video. They were running into trees. It was terrible.
Yeah, sure. Well, just the good looks of you and Karen, you know, they probably stop right there and just not even run.
So part of the environment is decreasing your screen time. And what I mean by screen time is computer time, phone time, television time. So we committed to audio programs because that lets you get on your bike, get out and walk, go for a hike, and you can still have the benefit of our program. So first you go through the audios, and when our members go through the audios, it amazes me how they can translate that information back to really good sound advice to their friends on Facebook. But what we're noticing too is it's having a profound effect on their families. there are people in our program that all of a sudden their kids started to slim down and get more active. They started to do better in school. Why? Because less screen time, more physical activity, get your brain stimulated, better at playing musical instruments. All of these effects on their families just because they engaged in our program.
Just because of the program. And they're, you call it lose weight for good, but it's just you lose that weight, you're eating healthier, you're doing more, and you're just feeling good.
Here's the thing, it's a process. You're drowning in credit card debt. You probably know what to do to not have credit card debt. Try to find a way to make more money, spend less, right? Same thing.
Yeah.
Exercise more, eat less, right? But you can't seem to do it. Maybe it's because you need to look at the way your mind is operating, the way your environment is operating, and the way your social circles are operating around finances. You see, it doesn't really matter what the knowledge is that you're trying to leverage. Unless you get those three things in place, you're stuck.
You are. You are.
So
that's the problem that's happening with all these other diets, the fad diets, the established ones that we hear about. And how often is it that everybody, New Year's resolution, I'm gonna go on a diet.
They don't go anywhere.
Yeah, they don't go anywhere.
By now, right.
Even that night, they're not going to do it. I'm going to start tomorrow because I still want to have my dessert tonight.
Of course.
And tomorrow I'm going to start, and then 2 weeks later, well, I've been on the diet, I'm not seeing anything or whatever, but they're missing these three components that you're really talking about.
And they don't even know it.
They don't know.
They just think the answer's out there in one more diet or a green tea pill or a purple coffee extract or whatever it is they want to find.
Yeah, all these fad things and this magic. There's no magic. In fact, Russ, I want to encourage all my viewers to go to your website.
Yeah, come on over.
We can't, our show is over. Half an hour goes so quick, and you have so much information. Your videos, you can explain it on the website. Go to Lose Weight for Good, and if you look at Russ's .org, right? We got to remember that .org, and it's right there. And Russ's shirt with that logo, you can see it all over the place. And thank you so much for being on the show, Russ.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it was great. Thank you. A wealth of information.